Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene. I'm at the Grand Rapids Comic Con. I am standing here with Mary of Mary's Monstrosities. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent this evening.
Excellent, because it is the evening on at the Grand Rapids Comic Con, and I've been running around knocking out interviews all day long. This is interview number 5 for me for today.
This guy's an animal.
Like, Nine Inch Nails closer animal? No, I'm just kidding. Mary here, for those who don't know, and you can see in the background just a little bit, she makes masks. And that's the name of the group, is Mary's Monstrosities, because the masks seem to be based on horror and the macabre.
That is accurate. I like critters. Yep.
All right. Well, how did this come about?
I've been really into costuming for the last 10 or 15 years or so, and I wanted to make something. I was, before this, for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been doing jewelry at the big art fair circuit, like Ann Arbor Art Fair, East Lansing, things like that. So I wanted to make something kind of closer to my heart, something I would enjoy more, something that I would be more into, I guess.
All right. When I picked up her masks, they're very lightweight. It threw me off because I legit thought they were made out of clay.
A lot of people think that, like, since they're so three-dimensional, a lot of people do think clay when they see them, and each mask actually does start with a clay sculpture. I use oil clay, so I get to reuse the same clay over and over. Once the sculpture's done, I do a plaster mold, and then the actual masks are pressed paper and a waterproof outdoor wood glue. So it's much like paper mache, but much more durable than a traditional mask.
Jeez, she's an expert at this already, considering this is her first interview. You've already, I was going to segue into that question, but you already knocked it out of the park. Thank you.
Well, it's good to let people know, because they do, and then they also assume that they're not wearable, too. They are meant to be worn.
No, it's like, so how are the masks made?
One step ahead of you.
When you're, yes, you are a step ahead of me. So when you're making masks, what are some of the inspirations that you draw upon to create said mask?
So I'm a big fan of sci-fi, and there's a lot of horror type of themes. Like I have a dahlia with the cut mouth, a lot of like monsters with teeth, that sort of thing. And occasionally I do get requests for like actual characters. Like I've done a Phantom of the Opera mask, I've done a Brazil baby, the Jareth Goblin King mask.
We'll talk about that too. But have you had any weird requests?
Actually, so not weird requests, but kind of...
I would like a unicorn after this is done. No, I'm just kidding.
As long as you send me pictures. So you know how on Etsy you can see like where hits come from?
No, I don't have an Etsy page,
okay.
but let's, for the sake of the interview,
yes,
yes I have absolutely all the ideas of what she's talking about. I know what she's talking about. But so Etsy has like a statistics page,
right,
basically?
So it shows you like where hits come from. And 1 week the stuff started coming from like the dark corner, the dark spot, femme fatalities, fetish websites.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of a weird
Yeah, I clearly surf those
gotten.
all the time too.
Well, it was a surprise when I clicked on it and went to go to it, and it's like, sign up, become a member for this weird stuff. Okay.
So you've been getting weird requests from there?
Just not weird requests from there, just a weird source of traffic, I guess.
All right. Well, my next question, as I'm looking at my sheet of paper off camera, because I'm quite the professional here. Well, you obviously do cosplay. The very first time I encountered Mary here was actually at the Motor City Comic Con earlier this year, and she was Lady Spawn. And then I ran into her again, didn't recognize her because she's that good, at the Michigan Renaissance Festival not too long ago, and she was Jareth, as she already name dropped earlier, the Goblin King from Labyrinth.
Yep.
So what other cosplays do you like to portray?
So this is something that I've only recently learned about myself. Like all the cosplay that I like to do is things that I liked as a kid, really. So all of it's like late 80s, early 90s, like fantasy, sci-fi type of stuff. So yeah, Jareth, She Spawn, 90s, yeah. Another one we've done is Lady Amalthea and the Wizard. Yeah, you saw them from The Last Unicorn.
Okay.
And currently I'm working on an Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, I did see that.
Yep.
Well, I meant since you're inspired by the 80s, are you inspired by chance, one of the greatest 80s movies of all time, fantasy-wise too, some would argue? Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh my God.
I know, impromptu question.
Oh my God. I was like getting really excited, like, what's he going to talk about? Oh my God.
Oh, so Big Trouble in Little China is not the one for you. Oh my God. Jack Burton, me. All right.
Doesn't rock my socks as much. Sorry.
Wow. All right. Then what's your 80s movie of choice then, or a few?
A few, well, of course, The Last Unicorn. My favorite movie of all time and one of my favorite books of all time, Dune. Frank Herbert's Dune.
Okay.
And that's kind of on the list of eventual cosplays as well. I'm going to do a David Lynch still suit.
Okay, I was like, are you going to be a worm?
Maybe.
No.
That'd be awesome. Everybody would think I was, what's that other one? The Star Wars guy out in the desert.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Jabba. The pit.
The pit. The toothy pit.
I don't know. People. I'm pretty sure some Star Wars folks right now are fuming when they eventually see this. Like, oh my God! Take away his credentials. I'm like, oh, yes, take away the credentials. But if people are interested in checking out your mask, where would they be able to find it on the interwebs?
On the internet. I am on the internet.
Yes,
so
she is.
It's Mary's Monstrosities everywhere. Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, Mary's Monstrosities. Etsy. That's the other one.
All right, well, that was very cut and dry. Thank you very much. All right, and for those who already know about you and have already reached out to you, what would you like to say to your fans?
That I am very excited about. I've got a couple new masks that I'm working on. I'm going to do for Christmas too, Krampus. Of course, it's October, so it's Halloween season right now. But
yes.
I'm thinking other costume events, because of course there's costume events you can do all year long. And so I have a couple new things in the works I'm really excited about.
I don't know, me being the moron that I am, because when you were mentioning Christmas, I was getting all excited. I thought you were going to mention A Christmas Story. You're going to be the pink bunny, just like a mascot.
Like, how about a Donnie Darko style pink bunny, like the dark eyes and the dark that, and then the pink outfit?
No, we will not tread on sacred ground, okay? Christmas Story is near and dear to my heart, and you will not. No,
I won't bastardize it.
Yeah, no, you will not. You will not. In fact, this interview is getting deleted right after.
Aww.
But nonetheless, well, Mary, thank you so much for granting this interview.
Thanks for coming by, Joe.
No problem. And that's apparently one of my catchphrases when I'm looking at my interviews. No problem, nonetheless, and truth be told, when I'm watching these interviews, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Besides the numerous uhs and ums. If you would have seen my first interview, if you would have had a drinking game to the amount of uhs and ums that I would throw out there, you would have been in a coma. You would have been comatose by minute 2, like alcohol poisoning, like, oh, my liver.
Nice. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't notice any of that, like any of those phrases at all.
Well, I just said, no problem at the end of it, so story of my life. But nonetheless, see, there I just did it. Anyways.
In any event, kids.
Yes. Folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene at the Grand Rapids Comic Con with Mary of Mary's Monstrosities. Take it easy.